Alright everyone, we are back for another video. This one is talking about EX5. Yes, it has been quite a bit of a minute since my last video. A little bit of a work overload on that front. But we are back now, and I'm here to talk about just briefly about the predictions. As we can see by the overabundance of red, there were a lot of things that were predicted rather incorrectly. However, with the ones in green, and I kind of gave myself the ones in yellow because they were right Digimon, just not the right variant. You know, one was X antibody, one wasn't. But either way, I digress. We're going to just go into what's coming out in EX5. I believe somewhere around the December-ish time frame for, at least for the US. So we're just going to get right into it because we got a lot to cover. All right, so first up, the cards we did not predict. So these are the 12 Devas. So here we have Endramon, on play draw one card, then you may play one Digimon card with Deva trait with a different name from the cards in your battle area or trash from your hand to an empty space in your breeding area without paying the cost, and on deletion draw one card. So effectively, in a nutshell, what these cards like to do, they like to make sure you have each differing name of each individual one, and instead of digivolving up, I mean, you could still build the deck for Digivolution. However, I feel like it's probably better if it's just mostly level 5s. But you're putting your Devas into your breeding area so that you can move out and do your Blast Digivolution into the Digimon Sovereigns that are going to be, I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But those are going to be the primary Digivolutions in this deck. But I'll just keep continuing. So yes, we have Endramon. Endramon has the inheritable, while this Digimon has 4 Sovereigns or God Beast trait, and this Digimon will gain security attack +1. And for the Devas, all of their inheritables are the exact same for their respective colors. So all the red's going to have the same inheritable, green, etc., so forth and so on. Alright, so next up we have the Pajiramon. On play, draw one card, then you may play one Digimon card with a Deva, etc., so forth and so forth, into your breeding area. On deletion, if your opponent has a Tamer, gain 1 memory. We have Sandiramon. On play, same as the other ones. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. I'll also point this out. Almost all the Devas that I've seen thus far are 7 calls to play, 7,000 DP. So save time on reiterating that. Just going to blanket statement right now. Next, we have the hard to pronounce Kumbiramon. On play, draw one card, same as all the other Sovereigns. So it looks like all the Devas' primary on play effect are exactly the same. Really, their only difference is the on deletion for red, your turn, and all turn skills for the other colors. But let's see. Kumbiramon, all turns once per turn when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, draw one card. Inheritable for the green line is Piercing. Vajramon, your turn once per turn when you use an option card with a cost of 1 or more, which is almost vast majority of options. Gain 1 memory. And Vikiralamon. Once per turn, when your Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, unsuspend this Digimon. Alright, moving on to the other colors. Next we have for black, we have Katuramon. This one is a blocker. It has no other effects other than just being a blocker, so we'll move on from that. And its inheritable for black gives 4 Sovereigns or God Beast blocker for an inheritable. Moving on to Makuramon. Upon this turn, your opponent's Tamers with a cost of 2 or less cannot suspend. And Senduramon, decoy for Deva, 4 Sovereigns. And yeah, that's its effect. Its on-play effect is the same as all the other ones. For blue, we have Mihiramon. Your turn, once per turn, when you play a Digimon, trash the top Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. Inheritable for blue is if this Digimon has 4 Sovereigns or God Beasts, when attacking, gain 1 memory. Next on to Majiramon. When you use an option card with a cost of 1 or more, gain 1 memory. And to Antilamon, trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Alright, so these are the Devas. So the Devas are supporting the next point of focus, the Digimon Sovereign. For the Digimon Sovereign, we have Across the board, 7 cost to play, 12,000 DP for the Digivolve. Unless you're Digivolving from Deva, which more than likely you would be, which will be Digivolved for a cost of 3. They all are Ace Digimon, Azulongmon, Shushaomon, Baihumon, and Ibanwumon. So they all have that nasty. If this card moves from the battle area to another area, lose 4 memory. So be careful when you put these Digimon in play. They all have the Blast Digivolve mechanic. So first we'll start off with Azulongmon. On play, when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the hand. Then unsuspend one of your Digimon with Deva or 4 Great Dragons or 4 Sovereigns trait. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So what I like about these ones, yeah, they're ace cards, so your opponent's going to gain something when they go away. But however, they're also going to lose something when these Digimon go away as well. So it's kind of a more even trade for this one, I feel. All right, moving on to Shushaomon. When Digivolving, when attacking, once per turn. By deleting one Digimon with 6,000 DP or less, or Deva trait, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. Next on, we're moving on to Baihumon, which I think for defensive plays is probably the better one of the 4 sovereigns to Digivolve into for blasting. Opponent's turn, when your security card is checked, if it is a Digimon card with the Deva trait, play the card without battling and without paying the cost. If you're more than likely playing this card in the Deva heavy deck, a good portion of your security is probably either going to be a security bomb, depending on how you build it, or a Deva. So you're going to be able to play something out for free, and then next turn probably Digivolve into another 4 sovereign. But yeah, on deletion skill, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. Lastly, we have Ibanwumon. On play, when Digivolving, for each of your Digimon with the Deva 4 sovereign trait, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, all your opponent's Digimon don't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. So, it's a nice little wall. I mean, that could be a good defensive one if you have a good enough board presence. But otherwise, you might, suspending one might be enough to stall you from losing the game. But it's not the most glamorous one. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. So not bad. All right, so that's the 4 sovereigns. But what the 4 sovereigns compose is the secret rare Feng Longmon. Now Feng Longmon is going to be the boss of the deck, and he is beefy. 15 cost to play, 15,000 DP, 6 to Digivolve. Unless you're Digivolving from 4 sovereigns, which is cost of 4, and truthfully, this card does not necessarily have to be in a 4 sovereigns deck. It can be played on it, and it's splashable. So on play, when attacking, by returning up to 4 cards with Deva or 4 sovereigns trait from your trash to the bottom of the deck, for each card returned, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus 4,000 DP for the turn. This card can be a potential board wipe. Unless you're playing against a deck that isn't affected by DP reduction. When attacking, for each of your Digimon with the 4 sovereigns trait, trap the top card of your opponent's security. Really, if this card is in a deck that's not 4 sovereigns, if you have at least one, I mean, you could technically splash this into a 4 Great Dragons deck. Since the Zulongmon is a 4 sovereign, every time this card attacks, you'll at least trash the top card of your opponent's security. And this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. Truthfully speaking, I might run this as a a level 7 in any very offensive yellow deck. Just because all turns this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon, which means the only way to get rid of it is option card or running over it. And at 15k DP, not many things are running over it. So this is a cool card. I like the fact that they introduced this into the Digimon TCG. But without further ado, let's just keep moving. Since we are talking about the Devas for the most part, I will also bring up the option card Loyalty Deeper Than the Sea. 1 cost to play. While you have a Digimon with Deva or 4 sovereigns trait, you may use this card ignoring color requirements. Main, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Place 1 card with Deva or 4 Sovereign's trait at the bottom Digivolution cards of one of your Digimon, or add 1 card with etc. so forth and so on to your hand. Return the rest at the top or bottom of the deck. This card is good for the deck because, 1, it helps with the potential issue of getting different names of the Devas. Also, if the topmost cards of your deck are not ideal, you can put them to the top or bottom. You can use it to see the future, put whatever card you want in the order at the top or just bottom deck if they're going to get in your way. So it's nice, and it also has a Deva trait itself, so you could, I guess, grab this card with itself. So it's not bad. And next up, we have the sizable play cost option, Sovereign Ultimate Formation. 12 costs to play. While you have a Digimon with Deva for Sovereign trait, you may use this for ignoring color requirements. When you would use this card for each card with Deva or for Sovereign's trait and a different name in your trash, reduce the cost by 1. So if you have all the Devas in trash, you could effectively play this card for free. But main skill, you may play 1 Digimon card with Fang Longmont in this name from your hand without paying the cost. So you can just play out a level 7 Digimon for free, potentially, if all things going right. And let's see. Also has a 4 Sovereign's trait in its, I guess, traits. So you can search this with Loyalty Deeper Than the Sea and Security Effect. Return 1 card with Fang Longmont in this name from your trash to your hand, then add this card to your hand. So for the most part, even if Fang Longmont somehow got deleted or was somehow thrown to the trash earlier in the game, you get this card back if it's hitting security, and you get that Fang Longmont so you can almost immediately play it next turn. So pretty decent, pretty solid. I have not put together a good deck recipe for this deck, but I'm still playing with it. I'll get it to you when it's in its best playable format. But let's keep moving. All right, so we have the Digimon, the main flagship Digimon from Digimon Dusk and Dawn. We have the Chronomon line, and we have the Lunamon line. So for the Chronomon line, we have Chronomon. We've already gone over him once before. We're going to move on to the rest of the Digivolution line. So we have Pheramon, 4 cost to play, 4,000 power, 2 to Digivolve, and 2 to Digivolve from a Light or Nightclaw Digimon for a cost of 2. So it's interesting they put that. So either way, on play, when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Light Fang trait, and 1 card with the Nightclaw or Galaxy trait among them to your hand. So you can potentially get a twofer for this card. And for its inheritable, your turn, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP. Moving on to Flareamon, 7 cards to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. And 3 to Digivolve from a level 4 with Light Fang or Nightclaw, which I think is mostly all of them for this line. Maybe future-proofing. When you would play or Digivolve into this card, if you have a Digimon with Light Fang, Nightclaw, or Galaxy in its traits with 3 or more Digivolution cards, reduce the cost by 2. So it would be a 5 cost to play or a 1 cost to Digivolve if you have a Digimon with 3 or more Digivolution cards. On play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 or less DP, and your turn. Again, this Digimon gains 2,000 DP. We have the top end boss monster of this line. 12 cards to play, 12,000 DP, 4 to Digivolve into Apollomon. When Digivolving, has Blitz. For every 3 of this Digimon Digivolution cards, this Digimon gains Security Attack plus 1. And with the way this deck likes to function, you may well have 6 Digivolution cards by the time you get up to this Digimon. It's very possible. Your turn, once per turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon. And if you have built this line with just the red versions of it, it's going to have at least 4,000 extra, so 16k DP. So almost any Digimon that's been made in this game, unless it's getting buffed to some degree. Outside of maybe, what's it called? Death Exmon. Death Exmon may be able to get around that. With, I believe it was it. No, I think that has 15k as well. I don't know why I thought it had 20k. Maybe I'm thinking 20 play cost. But yeah, most part, almost anything is going to explode unless it has some type of protection when the Apollomon takes something. When something comes out of security when the Apollomon comes out on the board. So next up, we have the Lunamon line. We already covered Lunamon. We'll move over to Lekismon. Lekismon, truthfully, let's see, has the same effect as Flareamon On play, when Digivolve, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Nightclaw or one card with Nightclaw and 1 card with Light Fang or Galaxy to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck. Inheritable. Opponent's turn. This Digimon gains 2,000 DP. Cressamon. When you would play this card or Digivolve, if you have a Digimon in play with 3 Digivolution sources and Lightclaw or Night Fang, reduce the cost by 2. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon can't suspend until the end of your opponent's turn. What's nice about that wording, that means they cannot attack nor can they block because you must suspend in order to do either of those. Inheritable, opponent's turn, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP. And Dianamon, the 12 cost to play, 12,000 power for the Digivolve Digimon. Blocker, we can kind of see by the inheritables of the other blue ones, it is aired towards blocking or more on the defensive type. When Digivolving, when attacking, for each of this Digimon Digivolution cards, trash any 1 card of your opponent's Digimon. Then all of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't suspend until the end of your opponent's turn. So when it comes on the field, it strips. When it attacks, it strips. So eventually, your opponent's Digimon will not be able to attack or block unless they keep Digivolving on top of it or somehow has some way to tuck another Digivolution source under. And all turns, when a Digivolution card of an opponent's Digimon is trashed, unsuspend this Digimon. So Dynamon can come out on the field, attack, then trash your opponent's sources, and then immediately unsuspend the block next turn. So I like it. It does have, even though it's a defensive Digimon, it does have a little bit of offensive capabilities. All right, and for each respective option card, we have the 6 cost Phobius Blow, Light Fang trait. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. Then if you have a Tamer, return 1 Digimon card with Light Fang, Nightclaw, or Galaxy from your trash to hand. So it's a little bit of a recycle, which is nice. And then we have for the blue card, Goodnight Moon, 5 cost to play. Main, one of your opponent's Digimon, one of their Tamers can suspend until the end of your opponent's turn. Then you may play 1 Tamer with Nightclaw or Light Fang in this trait from your hand without paying the cost. So this is a nice stun and play a Tamer for free. Not bad, and it does have the Nightclaw trait. And of course, you can't have an Apollomon and Dianamon without having Grace Novamon come into the scene as well. Grace Novamon, 15 cost to play, 15,000 DP, 6 to Digivolve, unless you're DNA Digivolving, which I highly suggest doing. And interesting for this one, this is the first Digimon that says when you DNA Digivolve, the name must be Apollomon and Dianamon. So it specifies the name. You can't just splash this into a deck that runs blue and red. So, it's kind of a catch, but I think it's a effect mix-up for it. So this Digimon has Security Attack +1 and Blocker innate. When Digivolving, when attacking, if it DNA Digivolve, trash any 8 Digivolution cards from your opponent's Digimon. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with equal or fewer Digivolution cards than this Digimon. There are not that many Digimon in the Digimon TCG that will have 8 Digivolution cards under it outside of something like Machine Dramon or something that just tucks insanely like Alphamon. Those are, I think, the only 2 that will have that could have more than 8. Maybe unless you're getting into some real good DNA Digivolution shenanigans, but for the most part, it's going to be those 2 decks. And all turns, if this Digimon would leave the battle area by your opponent's effect, by trashing 2 cards with the same level in this Digimon Digivolution cards, prevent it from leaving play. So if you built the stack to the utmost, I believe that's 4 preventions from removing this card from the board. And truthfully, unless you have a menagerie of blockers, 4 times is, the game's over by then. There's not much you can do to stop a 15k body that can't be removed 4 times with blocker and sec +1. Just saying. All right, so we covered the Digimon Dust Digimon. I briefly went over the tamers, but I'll just go over them again. So we have Ko and Sio, start of your turn, four costs to play, start of your turn. If you have two or fewer memory, set it to 3. So memory setter on play and main. By suspending this tamer and placing the top card of one of your Digimon with the Life Fang Nightclaw trait to the bottom Digivolution card, you may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost. So this lets you rotate up or allows you to get multiple sources into your Digimon's line. So that's nice. It lets you get all the inheritable effects you want. And also it will enable your top ends to do a lot more damage. All right, so that's Ko and Saya. Let's take a look at Saya and Ko. 3 costs to play, your turn. When an effect places the top card of your Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card, by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. So it's kind of a reduction in Digivolution for this. Start of your opponent's turn by playing a same level Digimon from Digivolution cards of one of your Digimon with Nightclaw, Life Fang trait. Without paying the cost, 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon in your hand by paying its cost. By paying its DNA Digivolution cost. Digimon played by this effect are returned to your hand at the end of the turn. So one nice thing about this, it allows you to Digivolve into Grace Novamon on your opponent's turn. And also, it allows you to spawn something like, I forget the names, Flareamon or Cressamon, whose on-play skills can disrupt your opponent. So it can stun or it can pop a low DP Digimon. So that's really nice. It gives that little bit of maneuvering and versatility to it. All right, on to the rest. We have the 3 cards to play. 1 to Digivolve Chumon. 1000 DP on play. If it's your opponent's turn, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 Digimon Suckumon in his name without paying the cost, then trash the rest. Inheritable. If this Digimon has Suckumon or Edamon in his name, you may play 1 Chumon from your trash suspend it without paying the cost. Not much else to say about that. Then we have the 3 cards to play. 3000 DP, 3 to Digivolve Targetmon, blocker. On deletion by trashing 1 card of Suckumon or Edamon in its name in your hand, return this card to your hand. An interesting rule, this name is always treated as having Suckumon and Edamon in its name. So this is another target for any of your effects that rely on Suckumon or Edamon. So it's a nice additional target. Targetmon. I get it. All turns effect, when this Digimon will be deleted by deleting one other Digimon Suckumon in its name, prevent that deletion. Next up, we have the 7 cost to play, 7000 DP Edamon, 4 to Digivolve, 3 to Digivolve your Digivolve from a Digimon Suckumon in its name. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP, and start of your main phase, this Digimon attacks until the end of your opponent's turn. So it can force any Digimon that's already in play to attack at the very beginning so that they don't have any time to Digivolve into it, make it a little bit less likely to survive security swings. Inheritable effect, opponent's turn once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 yellow or black Digimon card with a play cost of 3 or less among them without paying the cost. Trash the rest. I guess you can... There's a few ways to abuse that. But we'll move on to the next card, Metal Edamon, 12 cost to play, 12,000 DP, 4 to Digivolve, unless you're Digivolving from a Digimon of Edamon Suckumon in his name. On play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with a play cost of 3 or less. And for each card with Edamon or Suckumon in their names in your trash, add 1 to the cost you may choose with this effect. So as the game progresses, this effect is going to be able to get rid of bigger and bigger things. So after probably 1 card in 2, let's just say 2 cards in trash with Suckumon or Edamon in his name, you're deleting almost any tamer in the game. Point blank. Let's see. Opponent's turn once per turn when opponent's Digimon attacks by placing 1 card with Edamon or Suckumon in his name from your hand at the top of your security stack. You may change the attack target to this Digimon or the player. So, what makes that effect really nice is 1, if you make it attack if you make it attack this Metal Edamon, you can prevent any lower level swings. So forces your opponent to attack into you, and it allows you to heal at the same time. Or what you can do is you can put a security Edamon or Suckumon to the top of your security, force them to activate that security effect on check, and then more than likely it will be, I forget what that option card is, but I believe it turns one of your opponent's Digimon to a white poop token, or it's the Edamon that comes out and plays, or the Suckumon that comes out after security check. So that's nice as well. Right, next up we have the not so surprising Gabumon line. So we have the 3 cost to play 2000 DP, 1 to Digivolve unless you're Digivolving from Pseudomon or Gabumon, which it costs 0. On play, when Digivolving for the top 4 cards of your deck, add 2 cards with Garurumon or X antibody in their names among them to your hand. Return the rest to the bottom of your deck, and if you added a card, trash 1 card in your hand. And not a bad exchange. Add 1, lose 1. Allows you to cycle. Inheritable effect. All turns once per turn when this Digimon with Garurumon or Omnimon, his name will be deleted by battle by returning 2 non-Digi-Egg cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck. Prevent that deletion. So again, it's still predominantly preventing your deletion by battling. So in case you got a little bit overzealous with security swings and you ran into a bigger body, it helps you survive a bit. And it also prevents you from being trampled over. But yeah. Alright, moving on to Garurumon X antibody, 6 cards play, 6000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, unless you're Digivolving for Garurumon, which for the most part, any X antibody Digivolution is going to cost 0. When Digivolving, draw 2 cards, then trash 2 cards in your hand. If Garurumon or X antibody is in this Digimon Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. And same inheritable effect as Gabumon X antibody. Moving on to Where Garurumon X antibody, 8 cards to play, 8000 DP, 4 to Digivolve, unless you're Digivolving from Where Garurumon. When Digivolving, by trashing 2 cards in your hand, unsuspend this Digimon. Then, if Where Garurumon or X antibody is in this Digimon Digivolution cards, you may return 1 card with Garurumon or X antibody in this name from your trash back to your hand. So this will let you recycle your X antibody if you had already gotten rid of it previously. So that's a bit nice. Inheritable effect when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, by trashing 1 card in your hand, unsuspend this Digimon. So the unending assault of attacks continue in the Garurumon X antibody deck. And we briefly went over Metal Garurumon X antibody, but I'll just go over it a little bit. 12 cards play, 12,000 DP, 4 to Digivolve, unless Digivolve from Metal Garurumon. Blocker when Digivolving, if Metal Garurumon or X antibody is Digimon Digivolution cards, all your opponent's Digimon gain when attacking lose 4, whopping 4 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. So yeah, Super Ice Wall. When attacking by returning 1 Digimon card from your trash to the bottom of your deck, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the same level as a returned card. Oh, I'm not looking forward to seeing Metal Garurumon X again. Alright, moving on again. Next up, we have the Leomon line, or I'll just call it Dark Leomon line. So we have 3 cards to play, 1000 DP, 1 to Digivolve, unless Digivolve from Fremon. Electmon, on play, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Leomon's name from among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck. And on deletion, for the inheritable, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Next up, Leomon, 5 cards to play, 5000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, unless you're Digivolve from Electman or Leolomon, in which case it will cost you 2. When attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Leomon's name in your hand. When it would Digivolve by this effect, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Alright, that's not bad. Let you warp during an attack, so it's kind of like letting you skip a stage. Kind of. Let's see. Next up, we have the 7 cards to play, 7000 DP, 4 to Digivolve, unless you're Digivolving from Digimon of Leomon in this name, which it will cost you 3. It has the main effect Indomitable, which means if it's deleted while it has sources, it will come back into play. And on play, when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less to the bottom of the deck, and inheritable is Piercing. I believe I forgot to mention the inheritable for Leomon is Digivolve as well. And then we have the top end for this specific line. We have Heavy Leomon, 13 cost to play, 13,000 DP, 5 to Digivolve unless you're Digivolving from Leomon, which will cost you 4. And this one also has the keyword Indomitable. And when digivolving, on deletion, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less to the bottom of the deck. End of the attack. Once return one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less to the bottom of the deck. If this effect didn't return, unsuspend this Digimon. So either bounce something or let me unsuspend and swing again. Not bad. And with this specific line, you're not really worried about security bombs, because if it doesn't hit a security bomb or a bigger Digimon, it's going to stay on the board and your opponent will have to deal with it. If it does swing into the security stack again and then gets deleted, then it's just going to replay itself. And if you're playing with the other line, which I'm going to go into later, you get rush, and then you could just swing again when it comes out anyway. It's not bad at all. And here we go with the light version with the Leomon deck. We have the 3 cosplay 1000 DP, 1 to Digivolve unless you're Digivolving from Freemon, Leomon. On play, search your security. You may add 1 card of Leomon's name among them to your hand. If you added a card, trigger recovery, then shuffle your security. On deletion, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Looks like we're seeing a trend of Leomon doing what Leomon does, getting deleted and things happening. All right, next up we have 5 cosplay 5,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve unless you're Digivolving from Leomon or Lekmon. When attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Leomon's name in your hand. When it would Digivolve by the effect, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. And rule, treat it as having Leomon in name. Alright, next up, 7 cosplay 7,000 DP. Loader Leomon, 4 to Digivolve, unless Digivolving from Leomon. And keyword trait, Indomitable. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. This one, on opponent's turn, while this Digimon has Leomon in his name, gains blocker. Lastly, we have the 12 cosplay 12,000 DP. 4 to Digivolve, Bancho Leomon. When you would play this card from your hand, if there are 6 or fewer total cards in both players' security stack collectively, reduce the cost by 5. On play, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. In all turns, when a Digimon becomes suspended, you may give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 4,000 DP and security attack minus 1 until the end of your opponent's turn. Not bad, not bad. For the Leomon option card, we have Flashy Boss Punch, 8 cost to play. While you have a Digimon Leo or Leomon or Bancho, in this name you use this card without meeting color requirements. Main, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 12,000 DP for the turn. Then, one of your Digimon with Leomon or Bancho in its name may attack. Security. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 12,000 DP for the turn. That's actually a really good security effect, because it can potentially stop 2 attacks from your opponent. Okay. Next up, we have the Leviamon line. Now, Leviamon is, I believe, the 6th of the 7 great demon lords to come into the Digimon TCG. We're only missing 1 more after this. But for the line, we have the 3 cosplay 1000 DP Syakomon. On play, for each of your opponent's Digimon, draw 1 card, then trash 1 card in your hand. All turns, when an opponent's Digimon is played by an effect, gain a memory. For the next card, we have the 5 cosplay 5000 DP to the Digivolve Octomon. On play, when Digivolving, if there are 4 or more Digimon in play, play 1 Fujitsumon, which is a token in your battle area, suspend it without paying the cost. However, if there are 3 or less Digimon in play it to your opponent's battle area instead. So you're putting more cards in your opponent's battle area and triggering your inheritable effects as well. So that's a nice little cheeky tactic. Next up, we have the 7 cosplay 7000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Dragomon. On play, when Digivolving, your opponent plays 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from their trash suspended without paying their cost. Any on-play effects do not trigger by this effect. All turns, when opponent's Digimon is played by an effect, you may play 1 purple Digimon with a level less than or equal to that Digimon from your trash. So, this just helps fill up the board so that your other effects can make use of that. And its inheritable effect is piercing. So now we have a 13 cost to play, 13,000 DP, 5 to Digivolve, Leviamon, which has an on play, and that's going to come into play eventually. Security attack plus 1, main skill. On play, when Digivolving, if your opponent has equal or more Digimon and Tamers than you, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So you fill up your opponent's board, and then you whittle it right back down when Leviamon comes into play, because Leviamon is a jealous beast. All turns, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory for each Digimon deleted. So on play, if you maximize for both of the effects, it's 2 more memory. So kind of, if you do things right, this is a 3 to Digivolve Digimon, if your opponent doesn't have any memory blockers on the field. And we have Leviamon's option card, Fighting Crush, which is an 8 cost to play. Main, by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. If a Digimon with 7 Great Demon Lords trait was trashed by this effect, place this card into your battle area. All turns, when an opponent's Digimon is played by an effect, which you can force in this deck, delay, you may play 1 Leviamon from your trash without paying the cost. So you can trash a Leviamon to place this card into the battle area, and then the next time you force your opponent to play a card by an effect, you can immediately play Leviamon from your trash, and then blow something up and then gain memory for doing it. It's not a bad, I think this makes your opponent stay on their toes, because they really have to think about what they have in their battle area and if it's actually necessary for it to be there, because you don't want more Digimon on your board than necessary when playing against this deck. So I think this will go good with the Lugamon deck, because it's just going to be self-evident. So first up, we have the 3 cost to play 1000 DP Labramon. On play, by trashing 1 card in your hand, you may return 1 Digimon card with the Dark Animal or Shaman trait from your trash to your hand. Labramon inheritable. Your turn, once per turn. When you play a Digimon by an effect, gain a memory. Then we have the 5 cost to play 4000 DP, 2 to Digivolve unless you Digivolve from Dobermon. On play, 1 of your Digimon gains retaliation to the end of your opponent's turn. And when Digivolving, draw 1 card, trash 1 card. If Dobermon X antibodies in this Digimon Digivolution cards, activate this card's on play effect. Inheritable effect, same as Labramon. Gain 1 memory when you play a Digimon by an effect. Next up, 8 cost to play 7000 DP, 3 to Digivolve unless you're Digivolving from Cerberusmon without X antibody trait. Let's see. On play, you may play 1 level 3 purple Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. When Digivolving, draw 1 card, then trash 1 card in your hand. If a card with Cerberusmon in its name or X antibody in this Digimon Digivolution cards, activate this card's on play effect. Inheritable, when attacking, by deleting one of your other Digimon, unsuspend this Digimon. Lastly, for this line, at least in the EX5 pack, we have Anubismon. 12 cost to play, 12,000 DP, 4 to Digivolve. When Digivolving and main, once per turn, you may trash up to 3 cards in your hand. Then play 1 purple Digimon card from your hand for the cost. When it will be played by this effect, you may reduce the play cost by 3. For each card trashed by this effect, further reduce it by 1. So you can reduce the play cost by effectively 6 with the maximum of this effect. And with the inheritables, you would gain memory from the effect as well, as long as there's no memory blockers. Your turn, when your Digimon is played by an effect, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, draw 1 card. This can be a good alternate boss to the Lugamon deck, just as a 2-of, just for a little bit of versatility, and for ease of adding more Digimon to your board presence. Next up, we have the remainder of the green cards in EX5. We have 3 cards to play, 2 cards to play Hawkmon, 3 cards to play 2000 DP Hawkmon. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add all Digimon cards with Indomitable among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck. We have seen a good amount of Indomitable cards in this pack, so you can interchange it. It's not unheard of. Inheritable effect, all turns while this Digimon is suspended, it gets 1000 DP. We have Aquilamon, 4 cards to play, 4000 DP, 2 to Digivolve, main, Indomitable, inheritable, all turn when this Digimon is suspended, gains 1000 DP. Next up, we have Garudamon, 7 cards to play, 7000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, also Indomitable. On play, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon. Inheritable, same as the first two. All right, for this one, we also have the 12 cost of play, 12,000 DP for the Digivolve, Merukimon. Indomitable main trait, on play, when Digivolving. Reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is the level 5 or lower Digimon with Indomitable, play it without paying the memory cost. Add the rest to your hand. Your turn, all of your Digimon with Indomitable and no Digivolution cards gain Rush. So if you mix Merukimon into the Leomon deck, Leomon has no reason to swing because the ones with Indomitable, which I think are the level 5s and above, when they come out, well, when they swing, if they die, they come right back out, and Merukimon would just let them swing right again. So it's a nice little rush tactic that Green is leaning into with this play style. All right, and lastly up, we have the yellow. We're going to go with Kudamon. Kudamon 4 cost to play, 2,000 DP, 0 to Digivolve. On play, if there are 6 or fewer total cards in both players' security stack, you may play one yellow tamer from your hand without paying the cost. Nice, nice. Always nice when you can play your tamers for free. Inheritable. When attacking once per turn, if there are 6 or fewer total cards in both players' security stacks, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. Next up, we have Replimon. 4 cost to play, 4,000 DP, 2 to Digivolve. When attacking by trashing the top card of your security stack, the next time one of your Digimon would Digivolve this turn, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. That's actually not bad. Because if you're using the egg, I believe, that will give this Digimon jamming. So it will let you attack, more than likely survive, and then immediately Digivolve for reduced cost. Okay. Next up, we have 7 cost to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. Shirenmon, when Digivolving by trashing the top card of your security stack, unsuspend this Digimon. Okay, I see how they're going with this. Aggressive milling of your own security stack. When attacking Inheritable, once per turn, there are 6 or fewer total cards of both players' security stacks. You may place one yellow card from your hand to the top of your security stack, and it doesn't clarify whether that yellow card is a Digimon, option, or tamer. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit more security manipulation. I mean, I guess it's needed because you're burning yourself a little bit rapidly to facilitate this, but okay. And now we have the new alternate for what I assume is the Kintorasmon deck. Meet Tamamon, 12 cost to play, 11,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. When Digivolving, when attacking, by trashing the top card of your security stack, you may play one level 4 or lower yellow card from your hand without paying the cost. Then, the Digimon played by this effect gains Rush. All turns, all of your Digimon gain Barrier. Opponent's turn, all of your Digimon with a level equal or more than the total cards in both players' security stack gain security attack -2. Ooh. So, the less security they have, the more Digimon that they have in play just get blanket security attack -2. That's a nice stall. That actually would make it so that burning through your life is not as bad as it could be. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. All right, and yeah, I guess really, really last are the babies for EX5. We have Sunmon, Moonmon, Nyaramon, Pheramon, Tokamon, and Xiaomon. Not that surprising of effects. I'll start right from left. When you play a Digimon by an effect, draw a card. If it's your opponent's turn, draw a card on deletion. When attacking, if this Digimon has Leomon's name, draw a card. Nyaramon. All turns, if this Digimon is suspended, gain 1,000 DP. Moonmon. Your turn, when you play a Tamer with Nightclaw, Light Fang, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon to your hand. And Sunmon, when this Digimon's top card is placed at the bottom of the Digivolution card by an effect, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon in your hand with a Digivolution cost reduced by 1. Alright, so yeah, now that's the last of the last. So, okay, I already know the Sun Moon deck and most definitely the Deva deck are one that I'm specifically interested in. If there's any decks that you guys are interested in that have caught your attention or your eye, what deck do you think you're going to make? Which ones do you think this may be the starting point of some of the decks getting where they need it? Because I know the Kintorasmon deck wasn't exactly the best deck. It was a fun deck, but with it getting constantly more support, it's beginning to look a little bit more competent, I'm just going to say. But yeah, So I will conclude this video here. I will be cranking out another. It's not really much of a prediction, seeing as a good portion of it's out already. But I'll try to do a light prediction of what's coming out for BT15, and hopefully, work permitting, I'll be able to crank more videos out a little bit more frequently. But thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful holiday weekend for those of you in the States who are observing the holidays. And until the next time, have a great one. Bye-bye.